Good morning, everybody. Could we please be seated? Good morning and welcome to the summarized closing ceremony. Now would be a good time to please silence all cellular devices. My name is Dylan and I am a rising junior at Poolsville High School. We are happy to have this event in person this year and shout out to any viewers on the live stream. We would like to kick off today's event by telling you what Summarize stands for and how the logo was designed.
And I'm Nick, a rising junior at Rockville High School. Last year, Summarize held a contest for Summarize students from 2017 through 2020 to introduce a new logo and definition for RISE. The 2 students selected were awarded scholarships. Now, RISE stands for Reimagining an Innovative Student Experience.
Hi, I'm Emily, a rising junior at Richard Montgomery High School. The Summarize logo combines the following elements: a sunrise, a graduation cap, a mountain, an arrow, and holding or shaking hands, all of which symbolizes the Summarize program as an opportunity for students to grow, become a better version of themselves, and meet new people. The sun rising out from behind the mountain is inspired by the name itself, Summarize. The mountain is a representation of the obstacles we must all overcome on our path to success. It also consists of an arrow pointing upwards, which conveys the idea of growth and reaching new heights. The arrow is then broken up into 2 bent lines, which together symbolizes 2 people shaking or holding hands. This goes back to the idea that Summarize is a great way for students to meet new people in areas they're interested in. Finally, the graduation cap on the sun not only informs that this is an opportunity for students, but it also creates the analogy that students are the ones rising up and bringing light into this world.
How impressive. That logo truly is unique and has so many meanings behind it. And now I would like to invite up to the podium our Board of Education President, Ms. Brenda Wolf, to say a few remarks.
Well, good morning, Summarize. Thank you for including me today. This is such an honor, and I'm always so excited to come and celebrate with you. For those of you who don't know me, I am Brenda Wolf, President of the Board of Education, and I'm here to bring you greetings and congratulations on behalf of my colleagues on the Board of Education. Summarize, it's one of my favorite programs. I've gone around and talked to a few of you today, and you've shared your experiences, and it just confirms why it's one of my favorite programs. First of all, I want to commend each of our students who are here today and have been part of this program. Many see the summer as a time for relaxing and regenerating, and yes, that's necessary too, but I'm so proud of those of you who took the opportunity to have some learning-based experiences this summer. You've been working in government, business, graphics, marketing, engineering, advocacy, theater, and art, just to name a few, and learning professional skills, enjoying hands-on experiences in the field of your choice, and exploring the world of work. I know your parents were very happy for you to explore the world of work. I also want to commend the host, those of you who opened up not just your places of employment, but yourselves, sharing your career paths, successes, and challenges. Our students are very lucky to have connected with such gracious partners. MCPS is honored to have had more than 100 companies providing our students these hand-on experiences. We appreciate all of you and look forward to many more years of partnership. Now, back to the students. This summer, you have learned more about what awaits after graduation. I hope those opportunities have excited you and given you ideas for your next steps. The opportunity to experience life after school is priceless because you can learn what the job really looks like in the field, whether it's what you enjoy doing, and determine now, before trade school or college, or 2 years in the field, whether this is what you might want to do. Furthermore, this experience provides a great opportunity for networking. This summer's experience will hopefully lead to lifelong relationships and connections. Remember the people you met and worked with, and remember the constituents or clients you may have assisted, and stay connected. Stay in touch. In closing, I'm so thankful to our hosts and so proud of our students. On behalf of the Board of Education, I would like to once again thank our county government officials, all the host businesses and organizations, and especially our MCPS staff who worked tirelessly on this program all during the year. We see you all, we are proud of you, and you all are ready to rise. Rise to the next great opportunity, the next challenge, and rise above all that threatens to hold you back. Congratulations and enjoy the rest of your summer.
You're right. You're right. It's so important to build and keep those relationships. We know that some hosts have already offered students jobs. Thank you, Ms. Wolf, and to the rest of your board and members for your support with Summer Rise. We would not be able to do it without you. And now we invite Dr. Murphy, the Deputy Superintendent for MCPS, to say a few words.
Well, good morning. My name is Pat Murphy, and I am the new Deputy Superintendent here in Montgomery County Public Schools, and I am very proud this morning to represent Dr. McKnight, and on behalf of her, she has a message that she would like to share with you. Before we segue to that, though, I want to offer my congratulations. I also want to thank the County Council for sponsoring this in partnership with Montgomery County Public Schools. But I also want to say to our students, you have done a great job. You are on a wonderful trajectory as you prepare for post-secondary opportunities, for a career, but more important, how do you give back to your community? There are many opportunities here in Montgomery County. I want you to keep that in mind as you move through high school and then onward. But remember, home is the best place to be, and here in Montgomery County, there are thousands of opportunities just waiting for you to take advantage of. Thank you again, and let's hear what Dr. McKnight would like to share with us.
Good morning. I am Dr. Monifa McKnight, Superintendent of Montgomery County Public Schools. Summer Rise is a wonderful program in which we have had high school students from all of our high schools match with employers to learn about careers this summer. We are so proud of all of our students who participated in these hands-on career-based opportunities through this program and what they have accomplished. We hope that the program's benefits have been reciprocal. Not only that our students have learned skills and honed their interests, but that they have also contributed meaningfully to their summer employer's mission. MCPS is beyond grateful for the partners that we have made through these experiences, and these experiences have made possible so many opportunities. And we extend our profound thanks to the generosity of more than 120 companies, nonprofits, community organizations, district schools and offices, county government partners, and higher education institutions who all raised their hand to host our students. Despite the impact of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, our partners remained flexible by offering in-person, virtual, and hybrid opportunities. Your commitment to providing these experiences demonstrate to our students how invested you are in their success, how important mentoring them is, and how we must sometimes be creative in the constantly changing world of business. Summer Rise has indeed helped our students to prepare for their future through the inspiration our hosts have provided to our students. This is critical at a time when many of these students are making choices for their future career. Summer Rise helps mold our students' hopes, dreams, and aspirations. I hope everyone enjoys the ceremony and enjoys the remainder of the summer.
I'm so glad we had the chance to hear from our Deputy Superintendent. And now we would like to invite Mr. Jake Weissman, Assistant Chief Administrative Officer, to share a few remarks on behalf of County Executive Elrich.
Thank you for that. What a neat program this is, huh? Like, this is an exciting program, and this is a great room to be in. On behalf of the county executive, I first want to welcome everyone and thank you to the students who have participated in this program. Thank you to the organizations and MCPS staff and WorkSource Montgomery and all of the partners who came together to make this happen. The MCPS students in this room have been given an incredible opportunity over the last month to explore careers in construction, healthcare, everything in between, and they couldn't have done it without the organizations in this room. So thank you. All week I've been trying to figure out what to say, and yesterday I spoke to Tamaya, Giselle, and Michael, some of the RISE students in our office, to ask them their advice. And we discussed an array of ideas. We discussed whether or not I should pull out like a Doja Cat quote, or, yeah, that was my reaction. Tried to do a TikTok dance or a trend. We even discussed a little bit, discussing a county that, you know, is a 9, but it's got great programs like this, and couldn't decide if that would make it an 11 or a 15, so we decided not to go down that road, because ultimately, aside from the fact that I don't want to leave you with existential nightmares here today, we realized that, you know, you're here to listen to some speeches, be inspired, and finish up this program, and I didn't want to make you fall asleep. So that was the goal. Let me just tell you very quickly about myself. My name is Jake Weissman. I'm an ACAO in the county exec's office. When I was started off undergrad, I was convinced I was going to be a doctor. Like, I walked into UMBC convinced I was going to be a pediatrician. That was that. I took one semester of Bio 100. I saw the math, the science requirements, and I said, okay, let's go figure out something else. I spent the next year and a half wandering around as a undecided student, trying to figure out what I was going to do next before I landed and got my bachelor's in social work and psychology, and then my master's in social work, and eventually, much to my shame, ended up getting a law degree. Worked in politics in the General Assembly for a while before coming here. And I bring this up not to talk about myself, although people who know me will tell you I like to do that a lot. It's because two things. Number one, you're not going to know your career path when you walk in. It's going to change repeatedly. But when I was reflecting on that yesterday, every step of my career path, I could have found a job here in this county, right? Day to day, I work with economic development. I work with businesses around this county, trying to make it a little bit easier and trying to help grow jobs in this county. We're seeing more and more life science jobs pop up here. Right? And there's a reason for that. Our workforce, we have more PhDs in this county than any other place in this country, right? We have the second best workforce in the country for life sciences. And that's not an accident. That's because of the amazing people we have here, the amazing businesses we have here, and the opportunities we have here, right? We're seeing small businesses pop up, hospitality, winemaking, and so much more pop up across the county. It's also a matter of, if we can be honest in this room, Montgomery County is better than Virginia. Right? Like, we can, right? Like, let's be real. You've got some great opportunities, but you're south of the Potomac. You're a 4, right, at best. I don't have anything pithy to add to what you've heard and what you're going to hear by the people coming after me. And frankly, most of my advice I've either stolen from undergrad professors or from Dungeons and Dragons podcasts I've listened to. So I might not be the best source of advice, but I'm going to tell you the same thing I've tried to say repeatedly, and I think it really is going to help guide you, which is be kind, be yourself, and choose joy whenever you can. Like, everything else will follow. Like, you will figure it out what you want to do. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. The pediatrician thing isn't completely gone from my mind. But the neat thing about the RISE program is programs like this can help you figure it out and help you see the opportunities that are out there. And when you get to that point, whenever it is, that you have an idea of what career you want to go into, or at least what you want to start in, I want you to make sure that you do look at Montgomery County as a place where you can thrive in your career. I know you're thinking, God, I just want to get as far away from this place right now. I promise you, when it's that time, you will consider it, and I want you to consider it. We have the resources and the workforce to make it happen, and we're a pretty good place to live, right? And we can only continue that with the amazing people living, playing, and working here, and we hope that you'll be some of them. Congratulations again, and thank you.
We appreciate the kind remarks, Mr. Weissman, as well as the generous amount of time and support you put towards the Summer Rise program. And now it brings me great pleasure to have our County Council President, Gabe Albanese, to share some messages of support.
Good morning, good people. How are we doing today? Doing well? Excellent. Well, what a privilege and honor to be with all of you today. And in a moment, you will be hearing from two of my colleagues. But on behalf of the entire council, I want to thank MCPS for your partnership, and in particular, President Wolf, Ms. Elaine Chang, as well as all of the incredible employers who helped inspire and guide our youth this summer. But mostly, I want to thank our youth and families for stepping forward and stepping up to really take full advantage of an opportunity that is truly unique and one that is very important. I'll share two quick stories similar to Jake that I think are relevant to this morning's discussion, because hopefully you got a lot of information, but also figured out what both you wanted to do potentially with your professional careers, but for some of you, this may have confirmed what you did not want to do with your professional careers. And so I'll highlight two internships that I did. The first was in the winter of 1996, I got what I thought was going to be dream internship with the Washington Wizards. And it happened to be Michael Jordan's last season before he came out of retirement again and then played for the Wizards. But that year, I was charged with working in the game operations division and following around G-Wiz, our mascot. G-Wiz was played by a guy named Seth, who was a former Olympic gymnast. And one of the things that Seth did was, at the beginning of each game, he would rappel from the top rafter of the Verizon Center onto the court to get the players and the team and the fans fired up. Well, somebody had to pick up that rope after Seth rappelled from the top of the Verizon Center, and that someone was me. Not being totally enthused about heights, but wanting to make a good impression, it was something that I was happy to do at the time, but made me realize quickly this is probably not something I want to do with my professional career. But flash forward a year later, and I did an internship in Mexico City with an organization called Casa Alianza that worked with homeless and runaway youth. And one of my experiences was profound. My job was to shadow a social worker whose job it was to find the mother of a 16-year-old girl who was dying of AIDS. She had a 6-month-old baby daughter who was HIV positive. And it took us about 2 weeks to track her mom down in the shantytowns of Mexico City. And it was that experience that truly drove me and my interest to public service. The people that I worked with were extraordinary. And while they didn't make a lot of money, they were more fulfilled than anybody I'd ever had the opportunity to work with before. I had found my tribe. Shortly after graduating from the University of Maryland, I went to go work for an organization called the Latin American Youth Center. And I will sum up a long story shortly by just saying that the path that I have taken has been extraordinary and extraordinarily rewarding. And as Jake said so eloquently, your path is going to take different twists and turns, and that's okay. You will learn all along the way, and your path will never stop. So thank you for stepping forward and your willingness to take chances. We have to remember that we always have to take chances and not be afraid to go out on a limb, because that usually is where all the fruit is. So thank you all very much. And I believe you all are introducing my colleagues, or am I doing that? I am doing that. So it now gives me great pleasure to introduce my colleague and friend, the chair of our Education and Culture Committee, Councilmember Craig Rice, who will be followed by Councilmember Will Jawando. And I just want to say quickly regarding Councilmember Jawando, he and I met in my office when I was still the director of the Recreation Department 5 years ago, and it was his excitement and passion that I know is rewarding for him and a big reason why we are here today. But without further ado, Councilmember Craig Rice.
Wow, a lot of students. Can I ask all of my students to stand up? Former Summarize and current Summarize students. Anybody who's in the Summarize program, stand up. The reason why I asked you to all stand because I have to take a picture. And the reason why I have to take a picture, the reason why I have to take a picture is because I want to show my mother. And the reason why I want to show my mother is because you're all standing because of her son. Hold on. Wait, one more. All right, give them a round of applause, folks. Look. Many of you don't know this, but it was in 2016 that I was at Quince Orchard LA Fitness, and I was jumping rope and ran into a person, Ellie Giles, who was the former leader of WorkSource Montgomery. She and I went to the same gym, and I always talked to Ellie about all kinds of things, and so it was a great opportunity being there in the gym and having somebody else there that you'd be able to talk to them and say, hey, you know, these are great ideas, because, you know, the best ideas come to you when you're working out. Just, yeah, some people appreciate that. Some people are like, I don't know what in the heck you're talking about. But listen, this is what happened. I said to her one day, I said, Ellie, why don't we have a program like the District of Columbia that employs students and guarantees them opportunities? She said, you know, that's a great question. I'll look into it. A couple weeks passed. I said, Ellie, I keep thinking about this program. I keep seeing all the success that DC has. Why don't we have something similar? She said, you know what? Why would we have something similar? Why don't we have something better? And that's where Summarize first started. It was Dr. Jack Smith, myself, and Dr. Ellie Giles who made the Summarize program. And it was designed specifically to address many of the issues that you've heard from our speakers and that you will hear from our students. I'm the son of a teacher who then became a principal and then university administrator at Gallaudet University, Model Secondary School for the Deaf in DC. And so I understand the importance of education, but I also understand the importance of experience and how important it is for so many students in our community who oftentimes don't get the access to be able to get in the door of so many places so that they can learn about the different career pathways that are afforded to them here in this county. It is shameful that we have so many great jobs, but yet so many students in our community are shut out from them. And that's the reason why Summarize was created, to make sure that we broke down those barriers, that we opened those doors so that many of you could walk into these offices, into these jobs, and be able to experience and learn about what it is. And as you heard, it is not just about going into those career pathways. It is about understanding whether that is the right thing for you, but it also allows you to learn. So many in our community who have gone through this program have told me, have told other leaders about how they saw themselves in a career, maybe not the career that they shadowed, because of the Summarize program. So I stand before you lifted up. I stand before you with promise in my heart. And as I walk away from the Montgomery County Council this year, I know that I've made a difference because I see every single one of your faces and I know the experiences that have been afforded to you. That is what elected office is about. And so I want to close with this because I hope that there are some future leaders that are out here in this audience. Don't be dissuaded by what you see in the media. Don't be pushed away because you hear that it's tough. Don't think that this is a job of corruption or power. and that's all that this is about. This is about helping people like yourselves, who then help people in our community, who then make it a better place for all of us. That is what elected office is about. That is what this Summer Rise program is about. That is the reason why your teachers and administrators and volunteers who help you, all of the offices that have opened up their doors, it is about making our community a better place. We can do it. We just have to choose to. Just like I chose that day to work with Dr. Smith and Dr. Giles in making this program. But I can tell you that there will be a time in which you have the opportunity to do the same. Your charge? Look to your heart and know what is best. It will always lead you in the right direction. So to each and every one of you, I encourage you, rise to the expectation. Thank you, guys. All right, so in 2017, March 28th, 2017, I get an email from this guy that I had heard of before, but, didn't really know. His name was Will Jawando, and he said, hey, I'm inviting you to this great launch for Summer Rise. My good friend now and fellow colleague on the Montgomery County Council, Councilmember Will Jawando, was the one who led our first Summer Rise program from the beginning, from the start, and ensured that its success would be something that would be guaranteed. It's not easy to start a new program, folks, trust me. Just ask your teachers and administrators, they'll tell you. Inside MCPS joke. But he's done an amazing job in terms of setting that up and then continuing to be a great partner and supporter of the Summer Rise program. So I give you Councilmember Will Jawando.
Thank you. One more time for Councilmember Craig Rice. I serve on the Education and Culture Committee with him, and I always say it's my favorite committee, and my colleagues laugh at me. But it is my favorite committee, and we're going to mention, we're going to miss you, we're going to miss Councilmember Navarro, but we're going to keep the legacy, and this certainly is a legacy. I remember I was just reminiscing with our board president and our board members in our MCPS administration. I remember how nervous I was. I've never told Craig this, but when I had to come before the county council, when I was not on the county council, and ask for the hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay your stipends that first year in 2017 and sit on the other side of the dais. And it's been so rewarding to now be on the other side and be able, over the last several years, to fund the program and to see it grow. And I'm wearing my Summer Rise colors, so everyone's okay? Which I helped create, and I'm so glad you guys started with the new name, and we did that competition last year, because the name used to be Real Interesting Summer Experience, which is not interesting at all. And so you guys did a great job, and now reimagining an innovative student experience is very much better. I want to thank my partners in crime here, not crime, but partners in opportunity. Elaine Chang. Let's give Elaine Chang and her team a big round of applause. We affectionately call ourselves the mom and dad that first year of the program, because a lot of late nights, a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of calling hosts. Some of the hosts I still see here. It makes me really happy that we've had people in the program for 5 years. Now, this is the 5th year anniversary of Summer Rise, y'all, so let's be happy about that. I also want to thank Davida and Barbara and Kevin and all the teacher liaisons. Are any of the teacher liaisons here in the room? If you're here, can you stand up? The teacher liaisons, any of you here? We got a couple? All right, there we go. We got 1, 2, there we go. Over here, they're all up here. The amazing folks who help manage this process and make sure that everyone is doing their hours and all the things you're supposed to do. To the students, we're so proud of you. And I want to give a special shout out to 2 of our council Summer Rise students, IB and who's at Gaithersburg High School, right? IB Gaithersburg High School, but was in our office this year. And we also have Layla Kyle, who's Councilmember Rice's Summer Rise student. So big shout out to them. Yeah, and Layla's got some fans in the back there. But to all of you, you know, it's just such a remarkable picture to see this room as large as it is. And all of us are committed to making sure that every MCPS student has access to a work-based learning opportunity. That's a goal. And you guys are a great start, and this is going to change your lives and your trajectory. I saw Irv from the fire department out there. We have students that were in that first year and were with the fire department that are now firefighters. We have students that were a part of some of our nonprofits that are now working at those nonprofits. And so that may not be your path, as was mentioned by my colleagues, but it could be. And everything you need is here in this room. It's here in this county. And we're here to support you along that journey. And one of the goals that I have for myself and for our future council is to make sure, as Councilman Rice mentioned, when I sat down with DC, they started their program. They're serving tens of thousands of students a year. Our program's unique, but we need other programs and other ways to wrap around our students so that every student, we have 50,000 high school students, give or take, has access to a work-based learning opportunity for some time in their career. And we can make that happen in Montgomery County. Good goal, we agree with that? Let's make it happen. So during the last few weeks, I want to just do a quick poll. How many people really loved their placement? No one's going to look at you, just look forward. Okay, a lot of hands. That's a lot of hands. How many people didn't like it that much? A couple of hands. I saw your hand. You put it back down quickly. I saw it. It's okay. You don't have to put your hands up for that. But that's really important. You heard a couple of stories, and we all have them. I'll just give you one, and it's a really Montgomery County-based story. When I was coming out of high school, I was a big basketball player. I got a scholarship to a school in North Carolina Central, to play basketball. But the time I went down there and the time I got there for the school year, the coach that recruited me had left. And the new coach didn't like me. He had a different point guard. And so they redshirted me, and I was devastated. I just won a championship here in the region at St. John's and played at the city title game at the MCI Center at the time. And I came back, and I unenrolled from the school after the first semester. And I came back, and I was aimless. I didn't know what I was going to do. And it was, I joined an AmeriCorps program through the help of Wayne Farrell, who's still working with the school system. And at the time, he was a Montgomery County Police Department member, and I was assigned to the Montgomery County Police for a year. And I played McGruff the crime dog, speaking of characters, and I logged evidence, and I did ride-alongs and a whole bunch of things. And I made lifelong friendships. It also helped me realize that I wanted to become a civil rights lawyer, because I saw people interacting with the criminal justice system that didn't have access to opportunity or rights. And I didn't want to be a police officer, but that was okay. I knew I found out what I wanted to do and made lifelong friendships and mentors in the place where I had that internship. So fast forward, I go to law school and I work at the NAACP as an intern. And then my job is to work on things like criminal justice reform, and I use those same skills in relationships. So I tell you that quick story, everything you're doing is scaffolding, and it's building up. So the good, the bad, the in-between, the people, most importantly, are going to be with you. And we are with you to make sure that you are successful in Montgomery County and then beyond. So proud of you. And God bless everyone in this room. God bless the parents. And thank you finally to the hosts. Sign up again for next year. Recruit 5 other people to sign up, because we're only limited by the number of hosts that we have. We have the students. They're awesome. I know you know how amazing they are. You're going to see these videos and hear the panel. We need more hosts, and we're going to be willing to give the money and the support to make sure that we can support all our students. So thank you, and congratulations, Summer Rise.
Okay. And the County Council, without you guys, Summer Rise would not run, and we would not be here right now. We are so grateful. And now we welcome the Summer Rise program panelists. I'll be moderating. Panelists, can you come join me on stage? Let's give them a round of applause.
While we are waiting for the panel to be ready, could all Summer Rise hosts please stand up? Now, if you've been a host for at least 2 years, please stay standing. If you have been a host for at least 3 years, please stay standing. If you have been a host for 4 years, please stay standing. And finally, if you have been a host for all 5 years, please stay standing. Thank you so much to our hosts for their support throughout the years. All the work that you have put in to be a part of this program is incredible, especially with COVID over the past years and having to go virtual. Thank you so much for your support. Take it away, Nick.
Thanks, Emily. So I'm Nick. I'll be moderating today. Thank you guys for joining me. So can you all introduce yourselves, starting with Lieutenant?
Lieutenant Irvin Smith, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Walker. I'm the manager of volunteer services for Holy Cross Health, Inc.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Le. I am a rising senior at Clarksburg High School, and I am a current and reoccurring Summer Rise intern.
Hello, my name is Afia Grace Harris. I am a Summer Rise alumna of 2018, and I'm a rising senior at the University of Maryland, College Park, majoring in public health.
So in 1 to 2 minutes, can each of you tell us your experience from Rise, starting with Lieutenant Smith?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me invited on this panel. I really look forward to looking at the future of this county. We want to keep the talent here in the county, and giving these students opportunities to explore possible career paths is the product of Montgomery County Public Schools, one of the best schools in the nation. So we just want to help build a foundation that these kids can learn from and get a great experience along the way.
At Holy Cross Health, we've had a various number of interns over the years. We're one of those long-standing, would have been standing till the end of our wonderful moderators' questions about how many years we've been there. We started pretty small with just a few interns. When a lot of people weren't able to offer opportunities during COVID, we stepped up and we actually took over 200 students virtually last year. Emily was one of our wonderful interns last year. And this year we had about 85 that continued our program. So our program has really changed over the years. We typically would have our students participate in 1 or 2 departments. Over the last couple years, we've given them an opportunity to explore so many wonderful opportunities and what their own interests are, giving them flexibility in what they're learning, who they're engaging with, and really trying to diversify their experience with us.
Following up on what Sarah Walker said, I've had just an amazing experience with Summer Rise. Although last year was online, I did have an amazing opportunity to talk with different points of view, starting with graduates who are trying to take the PCAT, or either professionals such as pediatricians, or actually patients themselves. I remember I met a patient once who suffered from COVID-19 during the height of the pandemic. It was such an honor just to see how the healthcare experience really is and how it treats their patients. And along this year, I have the tremendous opportunity to speak with patients themselves, and I get different points of view on their lives and see how the patient care experience today, although COVID's still a thing, just to see how they develop and how they still are. Thank you.
My host site was at the Montgomery County Board of Education, and I interned with Miss Elaine. There, I shadowed her, and I also sat in on meetings, gave input, networked, and yeah. Oh, also did research on MCPS developing programs.
So for the Summarize student and former students, what skills, professional skills and skills in general, have you guys learned or built upon during your time in Summarize? We'll start with Emily.
Definitely effective communication. It's so important just to communicate, especially with the patient care experience. You want to make sure that they are cared for, they make sure that they are getting the correct experience they're getting, along with the fact that I've just learned so much with meeting with different patients during their critical time and seeing their point of view, and not just life, but just how they reflect over like everything. Along with the opportunity to communicate with nurses, RAs, doctors, and just everyone in the patient care experience to see how professional they are and see what the opportunity and their career feels like.
If you Grace.
I developed more confidence, developed my communication skills, professionalism, and project management skills. And currently, I do use all these skills at my position as a resident assistant at my college.
So, Ms. Walker, I know you've had the privilege of hosting Emily for 2 years now. How have you seen her skills grow over the past 2 years?
So there's definitely a level of confidence that's built, which is really nice. During the first year when we were virtual, she was one of those students that really stood out. And I always tell my students, you want to be the student that makes a difference. You want to be the student that gets noticed, because then you get invited back or you get offered a job. And so, when I had Emily in the first session during the pandemic and it was all virtual, she was the one that always had her camera on. She always developed great questions for our guest speakers, and she just went above and beyond. And the general message is, when you think you're doing enough, do a little bit more, because that gets you noticed. There's always something new to do. And so when it came time for this year, I was super excited. Not only did she volunteer for a whole summer, so she's continuing on, I was like, yay, I get to see Emily again. And it was just such a pleasure. It's the name that you recognize out of the list of 205. And so I was very excited for that. I'm like, hey, you don't have to interview. You're already part of Holy Cross. You belong here, your family. And then I found out she's doing Summarize, and I'm like, yay. And I was like, you don't have to come to orientation for the third time. I love you, but you don't have to do that. And she goes, Miss Walker, can I help you lead orientation? I'm like, yes.
I've been to 3 orientations at this point. I think I can run another one.
Yeah, so kind of bouncing off of that, Emily, how has your participation in Summarize have a positive impact on, how has Summarize had a positive impact on you following your participation in the program?
It has a tremendous impact on me. I've always been pushed into healthcare since both my parents work at the NIH, and I've been always thought, go into healthcare, and I really didn't know like what it was exactly. I know it's just patient care, but thanks to Sarah Walker, I've had firsthand experience at what patient care is actually like and what nurses go through, or nurses take care of people, and how compassionate and how hardworking they are. So thanks to this opportunity, I've just been able to experience everything, and it's just been a tremendous experience, and I've learned a lot, and hopefully I can come back and work even harder to pursue my dreams.
Right, so you were able to do another internship with Holy Cross. Can you tell us a little how you got into that? Because I know it was very competitive.
Yes, me and a couple of colleagues of mine applied for it, but as she said, during the interview, I went in and it was really late at night, and I was tremendously shaking, even though it was over Zoom, because the entire day I prepared my resume, I prepared my speech, and tried to convince her. And the first thing she said was, "You're already accepted." Thanks to Summarize, I've already been into the system and into the community that she just automatically accepted me, which is a tremendous opportunity, because now I'm able to write this on my transcript and just show colleges I want to get into the healthcare field, and I've been here before. I've been working.
And to sort of add on to that, when you become part of an organization and they cherish what you do, and you've made that difference and people recognize you. When it comes time to sit down for an interview for a job, they're like, we understand where you come from. We understand that you know our system. And really, Emily was really nervous. She was just shaking and I could see it digitally. And I'm like, just relax. You got this in the bag. You're already accepted, right? And I think one of the unique things that you have right now has been the opportunity to network with the people that you've worked with. You can say, hey, I know you. Hey, we worked on this together, right? And when I go around the departments and around the hospital, and I talk to our staff, and I say Emily's name, and they recognize her, right? And that's something that's very unique. And for bigger organizations, that's really hard to accomplish. So I hope that during your internship experience, you can be like, hey, I remember this person. I did this with this person, and take those opportunities with you.
Right, thank you. And it's so great that we're all in this program because who knows? I mean, this program can open so many doors. Maybe down the line, your host could be your future employers, so it's really great. Afia Grace, what about you? How has Summarize had a positive impact on you?
How has it had a positive impact on me? I've created long-lasting relationships that I've never thought I could, and having Elaine as my mentor has just been amazing. And also having a voice as a student at the time, I was able to give input on some developing MCPS programs, such as the Junior Achievement Park at Edison. So that's great.
So back to the hosts. Lieutenant, what motivates you to keep hosting Summarize students?
What keeps motivating me, my colleague in the back, Captain Tyrone DeMint, who's hiding in the back, I see him. What motivates us is we're public safety. We're in a job where we love giving back, and our council members that are sitting here, our county executive, Mark Elrich, believes that these young folks are our investment. They might go away to school in another state, possibly another country, but we want them to have a positive experience here in Montgomery County. They're our investment. Come back home, work for the county. Secondly, my fire chief, Scott Goldstein, he has a vision. He has a goal. And that vision and that goal is to have our fire apparatus reflect the diversity in this county. We want kids, no matter what age, when they see a fire truck or EMS unit drive by, we want them to see someone that looks like them, okay? Montgomery County is known across this country as a diverse place to be. If you want diversity, come to Montgomery County, Maryland. I take pride in that. I take pride in our county council members. I take pride in our county exec. I take pride in the Department of Montgomery County Fire and Rescue. We want to reflect the diversity in this county.
Ms. Walker?
So one of the things that I love seeing around Holy Cross and with our Summarize interns is their ability to develop self-awareness. I tell students all the time, embrace your vulnerability. At Holy Cross, we see everything literally from birth to death. I tell them during orientation, I'm so excited they moved the cold chamber away from my office. And it's a situation where students go in and they can see everybody's vulnerability, whether it's the staff that may be experiencing a bad day because one of their patients just took a turn for the worse, whether it's a smile on their face because they just saw a mom hold the first baby. And we teach them about empathy. And those are some real life skills that you can take anywhere you go, being compassionate towards other people. And developing those skills around the hospital in such a short period of time is a straight up miracle. And when students can walk away and go, someone changed my life today, I sat with someone for 2.5 hours today. I've never talked to a stranger for that long in my entire life, right? I tell the students, if you're not comfortable talking to a stranger, go sit on a bus and chat with someone completely randomly. You'll shock the hell out of them. I say hello to every person I pass, right? Setting yourself up for success by doing things that shock people is a great way to live, all right? So I like to tell my interns, take a chance, be vulnerable, be compassionate, show empathy, right? And you'll succeed in healthcare and in the world.
That was beautiful. Thank you for that. So what do you all most love about Summarize? We'll start with Afia Grace and then go backwards.
What I love about Summarize is how accommodating it is to all students of different backgrounds and different experiences that they've had. For example, during the program, I was traveling for a mission trip to Zambia, and I couldn't be there for the entire program. But Elaine was kind enough to pick me up as her intern, and we made up my hours together. I learned how to negotiate, and I had an amazing experience. Even though that this wasn't my career of interest or field of interest, I did gain value from it. I found out that I actually love administrative work, and I do that currently in my other jobs on campus. So,
the thing I love most about Summarize is just how many opportunities you guys have available to the students. I've seen during application process that you just have so many, and it's amazing to see how many students and how many hosts are able to give the amount of different tasks and different perspectives on how the professional setting is, and it's just amazing.
I'd love to say it's my students, but they've contributed to several of my gray hairs over the years. Actually, one of my favorite parts is Davida and Kevin. Where are you? Please stand up. Kevin's all the way back there in the back. I have to tell you that as a host, I love being reminded that I'm needed, that they look forward to working with us every year. And every time I get on a Zoom meeting, I see Davida, and her smile gets bigger and bigger and bigger every time. The Summer Rise team, not just Davida and Kevin, but Elaine and Barbara and everyone that works with Summer Rise, they make this possible. They engage with the students, and they are the heart and soul of Summer Rise, so thank you.
What I love about Summarize is I love giving the kids the opportunity to, first off, meet new people. First day, no one's talking to one another, and they're all social distancing and standoffish. But by the end, especially with the 18 students we have, I mean, every day is romper room in the back of the classroom or the back of the van, whatever. But just giving these kids the opportunity to, experience something, especially in public safety. They get a chance to, see what we do. And it's not just putting out fires. We go to people's homes when they're at the worst moment of their lives at the time. We are allowed to go in homes, and people open their doors to us. They don't know us, so there comes some pride with that. We tell them, be yourselves. We always tell them, always have a plan B. I became a firefighter on my plan C, so you never know where your future is going to take you, and we preach that to them, and we try to tell them life skills, even if it's not with the fire department. And that's what I'm most, excuse me, I get a little choked up. That's what I get out of this. I am a Montgomery County graduate from Poolesville Junior Senior High School back in the 80s. And I take pride in being a resident here. And I've gone away, I've lived in other countries, and I've always come back home. So that's what I love most about Summer Rise.
Great. Thank you guys all for sharing. And I know, if you're Grace, we know your mom, Patience, was so heartbroken that she wasn't able to make it today due to being sick, but we know that she prepared some remarks for you to share on her behalf.
yes, thank you. She says, as a parent, one of the things I loved about Summer Rise was the opportunity for my daughter to experience a host site that truly cares about future employees by committing time and resources to create a healthy workforce. Thank you to all of the leaders at host sites who are here today because you truly believe your future frontline is your bottom line. During her internship, Afia Grace shared with me that she was surprised that Elaine asked for her input during meetings. She also learned the importance of observation and attentive listening. As a result, I noticed my daughter gained confidence in speaking up. She also recognizes that although she may not be the youngest, that she is the youngest among professionals in a room, that her voice matters. In addition, she learned the ability to negotiate and the power of networking. She has applied these skills in multiple roles as a student and emerging leader. Thank you.
Thank you to Patience Harris and Afia Grace for reading that. So that wraps up our first panel. So can we give it up for the hosts? And the students. Thank you guys for joining me.
Nick, that was awesome. You did a great job. We want to thank everyone on the panel for that great conversation. We have learned so much about the impact that Summer Rise has. The Summer Rise program is so very grateful every year to the MCPS TV team for its support of our closing ceremony. It has been a great experience being able to work firsthand with the TV team and see everything that they do to put together this event. They are stationed in the back and at the camera supporting the ceremony. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to host this event. They have also been producing the Summer Rise closing ceremony videos since 2019. We encourage everyone to watch them at some point since they collectively paint the depth of what Summer Rise program has to offer, highlighting the impact straight from the host and student perspectives. Could we please give them a round of applause? And now let's see some highlights from this year's program.
I first heard about Summer Rise because I had two friends who did it last year, and I thought it was really interesting that they paired you with something that was your interest, so that's why I decided to sign up and give it a try.
Because I was interested in computer science, I was exposed to quantum computing, and it's a very cool experience for anyone who wants to engage in this new field and learn something new.
I had a question outside about what some of the really exciting and cool things you guys can do.
I originally was very interested in computer science. I was surprised to find out that there's like this relationship called quantum computing. It was really pleasant to find that you could connect those two, as well as other types of industries and fields that I did not think of.
Next week is going to be pretty heavy with a lot of those choose your own opportunities.
I'm thankful that this is virtual because for me, I can't really rely on transportation right now. I just recently turned 16. Doing this virtual is gonna open up way more opportunities. There's so much networking. It's so much fun. It's so good.
Then I'm gonna have Isha and Sam. All right. Sam, do you want to hold basket first? Okay. Switch off? Yeah. Okay. A really important part of being at Red Wiggler is understanding what it means to be an active member of an inclusive community.
Obviously, I've heard a lot about adults with disabilities, but like when you're working with them, you kind of just like forget that they have disabilities in general, and they're just people too, and they're so fun and so nice.
Jason and Isha are getting lots of farming skills, but I think more so they're understanding the importance of treating people, everybody with dignity and respect. And that is something that you can take to any workplace, any community you go to after here.
I love this program. I rave about this program. And the one comment that I'm always hearing from our consultants as they interact with the students is actually, are these new hires? Because the students that we've gotten have been such high quality, and they're so engaging and they're so interested that people can't tell. And I think that just speaks volumes. You are going to love next week.
I think it's great. I mean, it's wonderful to get young people in, to see what these industries are, to give them a chance to kind of learn about different aspects of things they may do in their future.
In the future, I don't necessarily want to pursue farming. However, at Red Wiggler, I've got to learn about business, as last Friday I was able to work with the founder and learn from the founder on how community can all be encompassed within business and bring together a flourishing social movement along with pursuing a business career.
I would recommend Summer Rise to anyone who's interested as a way to have some hands-on experience and learn whether the industry that you think is for you is really for you.
These are very bright, innovative, hard-working students. You can see the potential from day one, and just to be able to say that I have played a small part in their education, it means a lot. That's what gets me going. That's the passion I bring to the table. It's more the students and their passion. Their passion feeds my passion.
The final cut of the video is great. I got to see the filming and be involved in the discussions about the vision behind the scenes. To see the final cut is really fantastic. At this time, I would like to invite the next group of panelists up to the stage to get situated.
Okay, thank you, employer panel. So can you all please introduce yourselves, starting with Ms. Pingard?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sydney Pingard. I'm a career educator who's taught in MCPS for more than 25 years. And recently, I'm starting a new role in the Office of Human Resources and Development, serving as a coordinator and working alongside the recruitment team.
Mr. Featherstone.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Featherstone, and I'm the Executive Director for WorkSource Montgomery. WorkSource Montgomery is the county's lead workforce development agency. We operate our American Job Centers, and we help train and connect Montgomery County residents and job seekers to opportunities. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Ms. Wilson.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rachelle Wilson. I'm the Deputy Director over at Rockville Economic Development. Rockville is the county seat, and we primarily focus on the business economy and the health of the business economy, working alongside the greater Montgomery County.
Great, thank you. So what does your organization do, starting with Ms. Pingard?
Well, I feel kind of silly because I represent Montgomery County Public Schools, and I think everyone in here has some idea of what the school system actually, the work we perform. It's fantastic to see our students out here this morning, but I want to elevate and highlight for our audience that not only is MCPS the school system where our children go to become educated, but we are the largest employer in Montgomery County. and it takes almost a mini city to run the school system. So in addition to the specific school you attend each day, we have a Department of Transportation, we have a budget office, a technology team, and many other divisions and offices that have to exist. They're essential for the full operation of the school system. And so I'm very proud to represent that and want you all to see the school system as an employer in addition to the place where you are seeking your education.
Yeah, and so workforce development is a broad term, but I try to keep it simple as much as I can. So what we do is we work with local businesses, and we try to understand what their talent needs are, what the qualifications are today as well as tomorrow as far as trends in their industry. And on the reverse side of the equation, we work with Montgomery County residents to give them a bit of support when it comes to figuring out what their career pathway may be, helping them connect to training, and then ultimately gaining the skills that they need to get into those employment opportunities. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. So for all of you, once you graduate, if you need any assistance with figuring out what your next steps are, we're here to serve you. If you're in college and come home for the summer and you need help finding summer employment, or once you graduate, if you need a bit of assistance in finding employment, we're here as your local workforce development system to help you out. And I want to give a shout out to Neha, Leem, and Colette, in case I don't get a chance to. Those were our 3 summarized students, future workforce development board members. Some of them may even come back and take my job. But we enjoyed the program and enjoyed working with you.
Ms. Wilson. So for Rockville Economic Development, there's pretty much a lot of overlap with WorkSource. Our focus, yes, is primarily focusing on businesses within the city of Rockville. We act as the liaison between the business community and the local government. So making sure that we are providing resources, anything from local city government resources to also in-house resources, such as incentives to help businesses stay here, expand, attract them, and also to grow. Where it comes into WorkSource, we do a lot of interacting with businesses to understand what are your needs. A big part of that is employment, understanding, what does employment look like? What is the talent that's here within the city of Rockville, within the greater Montgomery County, and also working alongside organizations like WorkSource, working alongside organizations such as MCEDC, and also, Maryland Department of Commerce to just ensure that we have that talent pipeline. Also working alongside institutions such as Montgomery College, University of Shady Grove. So we work alongside them to just ensure that the talent pipeline is here to continue to attract businesses here and help the businesses that are here to grow.
Great, thank you. So I know you touched on this while you were speaking. So how are you all involved in the talent pipeline or workforce development? And Ms. Wilson, if you don't mind sharing what the talent pipeline is for our students.
I would say the talent pipeline, the focus is looking at students as early as pre-K and making sure and ensuring that they have the skill sets, talking to the employers, understanding what are the skill sets, especially of the future. You want to understand what it is now, but what skill sets will they need in the future, and kind of infuse that from pre-K all the way down, to the collegiate level. And so a lot of what we do is we promote the talent that's here within the county. In economic development, we put a lot of marketing together. We talk to businesses as we're attracting them to come into the city, and we let them know we have some of the best and brightest talent that's here. I love talking about, especially we mentioned in a previous panel that in terms of life science, we are now the second in terms of the best talent to attract life science businesses. And I want to say it's not even just life science, we're very well-rounded. In any of the technical sciences and STEM fields, we are some of the top, we produce some of the top, we have some of the best relationships with secondary institutions to just ensure that that talent stays here and it grows here within the county.
Mr. Featherstone.
Yeah, and so I guess I'm on. So I think for us, our role in the talent pipeline is just making sure that there's an ecosystem in place from a workforce standpoint to support any Montgomery County resident that needs any help. identifying a career pathway and actually attaining those career goals. So we do a lot of labor market research. We provide a lot of case management services where the individuals that we serve get a one-on-one career coach to help walk with you in your employment journey. We provide financial assistance to Montgomery County residents that want to get into certification programs and also provide job placement support. And all of these services are aligned with what the needs are in our county as far as our local businesses and so forth. So that's our role in working with any Montgomery County resident that needs help and support in figuring out what their next steps are when it comes to their career pathway.
I was really connected very well with the comments that Lieutenant Smith made earlier in the first panel. And when I look out into the audience today and I'm looking at a number of our students and your families, it is absolutely critical that the pipeline or the pathways that we create in Montgomery County Public Schools are reflective of our students and their families. So that includes a diversity of race and ethnicity, the way that individuals represent their gender, and the linguistic backgrounds that all of you bring to the table as students. It is our goal and our mission to make sure that our workforce in the school system reflects who you are, and that you can see yourselves in the teachers, the staff, either in your school or across the school system. And so in HR, or Human Resources, it's our charge to make sure that we have highly effective teachers, paraeducators, support staff, and educational leaders who are going to commit to that diversity and make sure that our students receive the absolute best. I'm very biased. I know our students, in comparison to other students in other districts, are outstanding. And we want to make sure that if it's your desire to stay in the school, to come back to the school system or to stay in the county, that you have the opportunity to do so.
Right, and I know there's so many new jobs and jobs opportunities here in Montgomery County, so, just know you'll probably always have a home here.
Absolutely. Make sure you call me. I'll get you a job.
So what skills, attitudes, and experiences are most employers wanting in new hires? So for maybe anyone in the audience looking for a job.
I'll just say very briefly that the best piece of advice I received from a mentor was to really guard and develop your reputation, so that when you are in a space or when you leave a space, what words do people say about you from their interaction with you? And you really can craft that by the words that you say, the actions you take. You want to be very intentional with your reputation and have people associate you in a very positive way based on their interactions with you.
Mr. Featherstone.
So we focus on 4 parts when it comes to the success of the clients that we work with. Do you have the academic skills? Do you have the occupational skills? Do you have the personal infrastructure? And are you well-rounded from a soft skill or professional development standpoint? And that's what we hear a lot from our employer partners. They want people that are solution-focused, that have an entrepreneurial mindset, that bring solutions and not problems to the table. Folks that are glass half full as opposed to glass half empty. You have some folks that you'll meet in the workforce. You'll talk to them on Monday morning, they'll say, oh, I'm here. But then you'll talk to them on Friday morning and say, it's Friday, right? So they're just counting down to Monday and just passing and wasting the time. So I encourage everybody to here to focus on your soft skill sets, focus on those interactional things that mean something to the people that you'll work with and work for, and be glass half full. Be excited about Monday just as much as you are excited about Friday. Although there may be folks around you that may have that mentality or perspective when you get into the workforce. So I think that's the main thing that we hear from our employer partners, is that they're looking for, positive, well-rounded folks with a good soft skill set coming in the job.
I would just mimic what Anthony just said. A lot of times when we talk to employers, of course, they want you to come in with those technical skills, but it's the soft skills. How do you relate to individuals, especially if you're looking to move into leadership positions? Do you have empathy for the individuals that you're working with and, will eventually lead? Project management skills. I feel like you can pretty much use that in any industry. It's good, learning time management, things like that. I think it's important, curriculum and academic skills, but those skills that you can get outside of the classroom and sometimes also apply them within the classroom, I think they're very important in today's environment, especially as we move to, more of a computer-generated technical world.
Right, thank you. So very briefly, what are resources available to students that can help prepare them now for the job market?
I would say programs like Summarize, I think, is a great way to start. I would say internships within, local businesses. If there's a connector such as MCPS, WorkSource Montgomery, those are awesome resources that you all can use when you come back to the area. Economic development, if you are in need of a job, you can always come to us. We always view ourselves as a connector, not just to businesses, but we're helping individuals. There's also entrepreneurship as an option, whether it's later down the road or initially after you finish with school. Those are also pathways that we can help you kind of navigate and figure out, and also understand how to start and structure.
Great, thank you. So I wanted to, Mr. Featherstone, WorkSource Montgomery has been a wonderful partner of RISE over the years. Is there anything you would like to share about WorkSource Montgomery?
Yeah, sure. So, for the second year in a row, we're excited to announce, and some of you already may be aware that the stipend this year has increased from $300 to $500, and you can smile a little bit for that. More money is never a bad thing, and we think that everybody in this room deserves it. You all have worked hard, throughout your studies this school year and in your summarized program. So we're excited to announce that. We thank our county council. I think I see Councilmember Rice right there. Our county council, our county executive, our partners at ESFCU, our partners at Montgomery County Public Schools for all working together, and Maryland Department of Labor working together to try to increase your stipend again this year to $500. So congratulations once again, and once again, if anybody needs employment support once you get out of school, we're here to serve you.
Great, and thank you so much for this informative session, panelists. Can we give it up for the panelists? Thank you, guys.
That was a lot of great information. This program went by so quickly, I can't believe it's ending. I learned a lot about planning an event, and I think I would like to make a career out of it. I would like to invite up Elaine Chang, our Summer Rise host and the director of the Partnerships Unit. She helped create Summer Rise back in 2017, and it has been a passion project for her since.
Good morning, everyone, and hello to those that are still on our live stream. I'm not a politician, and I lost what I was going to say around 4 o'clock yesterday, and my students in my office were on my team. Let me try to help you find it. Didn't find it, but I appreciated the effort from the students in my office. So I might be reading. I'm not as good as a politician, but here we go. Summer Rise would never be Summer Rise without the many partners that we have. We would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to our County Executive, Mark Elrich, and his team, as well as the whole County Council and their teams. Can staff from both the County Executive and County Council offices that are here please stand with your students as they are part of your teams? And similar to politicians, some of them had to run to their next event. And Mr. Rice is pointing back that way. Thank you guys for being here. And as you heard earlier, our elected officials have been staunch supporters funding this program. They made sure that transportation in 2019 was not a barrier to an opportunity. Before that, it was. They made public transportation free, and I want to make sure we point that out. WorkSource Montgomery, they've been a partner since the start, as you guys have heard. Under Anthony Featherstone's leadership, they've been expanding their support. You guys just heard they went from $300 to $500. They did that the past 2 years. Additionally, they made you the shirts, so please make sure you grab one before you leave. Can the WorkSource Montgomery team please stand and be recognized? Come on, I know 5 or 6, or they might be outside. They're here. And I know that my office in Montgomery County Schools is very much looking forward to continuing to work with you guys. A Wider Circle is another partner. I'm not sure if anybody from A Wider Circle made it. If so, can you wave or stand? I definitely want to recognize them since the inception, and I hope everyone is listening because I want you to go support this nonprofit. Since the inception of this program, with no worries about our student participation number, no worries. We started like 450. We're up to 700 this year. A Wider Circle has provided free clothing to anybody, any of our students who wanted it. Didn't ask you about anything. You want it, you come, you look better than me. A Wider Circle has been committed to helping our students look sharp and help prepare them on their path of success. So I want to make sure we're recognizing A Wider Circle for everything they've done. The numbers have not scared them. Thank you, A Wider Circle. Now to the Educational Systems Federal Credit Union. Is Dawn and her team in here? They're getting ready? Okay. Yep, thank you. These are going to be very important students to you, people to you students very soon because they're the ones that have your checks. For the Educational Systems Federal Credit Union, this has been a passion project for them. It is not about getting more members. As a matter of fact, it's not very many members because a lot of our students already had their own bank accounts. So they're the ones that have been cutting all the checks, talking to parents, talking to students, getting the checks in the students' hands. Doesn't matter. I keep saying we're going to grow our numbers, grow our numbers, grow our numbers. They're like, we're with you. We're partnering with you. We process improve. It's been great. So please join me, everybody in the audience, especially students, one more time. They are the ones that are going to pay you today with your stipends. Summarize, as you guys have heard, and it looks great to look back. I didn't see the back part of the room fill up, so it warms my heart to see so many people here. The Summarize program really has been a passion project for my whole team, including my temporary extended team. And I'm just going to ask them to stand instead of coming to the stage so we can kind of speed up the ending. When you hear your name, please stand and wave, and some of them are probably going to be shy, but I want you to go ahead and please stand. And students, I want you to listen. As a manager, I want you to think about who you hire and why. The more talented and capable your team is, the more you're going to be able to get done. I couldn't be more grateful to Davita. Where'd she go? See, she's ready somewhere, running around. Oh, Davita, stand. Kevin, where's Kevin? Back there in the corner. And Barbara, this is my whole team. This is it. We're small, but we're mighty. The 4 of us oversaw this whole program, and I'm going to go into some details because it is a lot to manage. We communicated with a couple thousand people. We matched students with hosts. We created 143 unique opportunities. So if you have like a special ed background, it was like 143 different individualized plans at more than 120 host sites. Thank you again, hosts. Because of the pandemic and General Counsel's office support, we have spread from Maryland to DC to Pennsylvania, PA, I'm sure you're not here. If you are, I'd love to meet you. Frederick and Prince George's counties. Hello to all of our hosts that are joining us virtually on the live stream. Because of the pandemic, some good came out. We are live, we are virtual, we are hybrid, and we're keeping that because that helps us to expand these opportunities for our students. And you heard on the video, one of our students said he's so grateful for that virtual opportunity. He can't drive. His parents couldn't get him anywhere, but he got to participate in Summarize, and you are getting, hopefully are you in the audience? You're getting your check today, or we'll get it to you. I also want to thank, and please stand, Linda, Cindy, I'm just going to roll call. Please stand, don't be shy. Linda, Cindy, Thalia, Audrey, Abby, Rebecca, and Erica. And if Craig, William, and Macy are joining us live stream, I want to thank you guys. Please stand, please stand. They're wearing Summarize shirts. Please go give them a hug if they're comfortable with that. You guys have heard all across the nation and even internationally, staff are burned out. They're burned out. You can't pay them enough to work this summer. They need a mental break. These fine folk committed to Summarize because they are so passionate about this program. They're so passionate about getting to meet the students in the audience. They cared about you, and they said, we're going to do it, and then we'll rest and relax after today. So thank you once again. This project is huge. It is an MCPS village, and I want to make sure that we recognize our village. So I would be remiss if we didn't recognize our Board of Education. Thank you for your support. Our Superintendent's Office represented. All of our principals. Adewusu's here. I didn't know if any other principals are here. Any other principals here? Principals who are getting messaging out to their students. Parents. Students, you're part of the MCPS Village. You're telling your friends and your cousins about this program. Career counselors, special education teachers, communications and TV team. We've got a live stream going while the communications team is here. Budget, procurement, our print shop, and all of the MCPS hosts that you see in the program booklet. There are offices, there are schools, they're all participating. And MCPS colleagues, you're awesome. Thank you, and we all make a great team. The last few things that I want to share, when I was in college, there was a phrase that always resonated with me, and it's what I've been using at every closing ceremony, and it's each one, reach one. Each one, reach one. If everyone in the audience could tell a student who can benefit from this program to apply, help a parent find a free opportunity for their child in a safe environment, find an organization willing to host, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and help find corporate or family foundation sponsorships. I did that in 2019. I made a conscious decision not to ask this year. We're coming out of a pandemic. I want to support all of our nonprofits, our companies, let them rebuild. But we do have a donation pathway through our MCPS Educational Foundation, our 501c3 arm. It is a tax write-off, and I'm going to reach out to you guys to please help me look for that. We are growing, and we cannot grow. I've expended my donation money. If everybody could each one reach one, we can powerfully and collectively expand these great opportunities for more students, taking a direct role in shaping their future. I know that when I talk to companies, they want the touch point. Your touch point is right here. They want the touch point. You see it in the audience. This program is working in so many amazing ways. We've had employers call for references. You've heard that some of our students are being offered internships and jobs. We know that students in the audience have been offered them. These students this year. We've taught students basic transferable skills that they can build upon. They can apply their experience and mold themselves to the best versions of themselves. Afia, Grace, and Emily are perfect examples of this. We feel great that our students are informed about college pathways to choose or credentials and certifications that they might need. We know that our students show tremendous growth from day 1 to day 30. Case in point, Nick, Emily, and Dylan. I do this to students in my office all the time. The first day they come in, I said, hey, I'm envisioning you guys emceeing an event, might be 700 to 1,000 people in the audience. And they're like, huh? Say what? I just met you. Can we give them another round of applause? Were they great? Emily, Nick, and Dylan worked on transferable skills. They are ready for hire. So everyone, please, as I wrap up, each one, reach one. Each one, reach one. Thank you so much.
All right. I want to say thank you to all the students, hosts, and teachers. Once we're done here, I'm going to ask for you guys to please exit this room so the Marriott staff can set up the breakout rooms. Please make yourself at home in the foyer and enjoy some light snacks and beverages and try to meet some new people and practice networking.
Okay, so we changed the breakout session times. For the breakout session times, they will run from 11:10 through 12, and we are going to have 2 breakout sessions. For the students, at 11:10 a.m., you're going to come back to this room to learn about financial literacy and get your stipend. For hosts, you are going to be in room H, where we are going to share with you how you can support business advisory committees specific to industries, learn about hosting interns and youth apprentices, and learn about offering student service learning credit.
For next steps, we would like to encourage everyone to fill out the program survey using the link or QR code on the back of your program. Continue your relationships and remember to stay in touch with the Summer Rise office. Thank you all for attending.